What is happening, Viking Nation? I'm your host, Minnesota Vikings Man 28, and the Pro Bowl rosters have been announced today, and the Vikings have three players. I feel like there should be more, but let's see who got in, and then we'll talk about those snubs. So, first off, we have Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook was the #1 running back voted on in the NFC, I think overall as well. So Dalvin Cook has been very, very vital for the Vikings offense. Without him, it would just be the Thielen Diggs show, but that would make it easy for defenses. So worrying about him is really helps us. So Dalvin Cook has rushed for 1,135 yards, 13 touchdowns, his longest one against those Green Bay Packers, who we are facing next week, but he might not play. Still going to make a video on that. It's just there's a lot I'm going to be doing this week in terms of videos. So, and in the receiving game for Dalvin Cook, 519 yards, almost 10 yards a catch. No receiving touchdowns, surprisingly. Has only lost 2 fumbles this season. And had 4 total fumbles, only against 2 teams. Had bad games against the Giants and the Seahawks. The Giants, he did good terms in rushing yards, but the fumbling, not so good. And the Seahawks, yikes. They really stopped us. But he is very efficient, especially with Alexander Madison. Madison has been that extra 1-2 punch when combined. So yes, he is a very good running back, and you can definitely stand alone. But it's also good to also have another running back with him. So Dalvin Cook, you deserve it. Next, we have Danielle Hunter. Great defensive end, very underrated in my opinion. If we look at the stats, 13.5 sacks, and very dominant. He is very dominant. Usually averages a sack a game. Only didn't get sacks against the Chicago Bears, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Denver Broncos, but got multiple sacks against the Giants and the Detroit Lions. In this season, he has had 3 forced fumbles, 2 against the Chargers last week. We got 7 total turnovers over, and the Washington Redskins, which I think that was on Case Keenum. So very good on his part of also doing that. He can provide turnovers. He can get the sacks, those tackles. 49 tackles for our defensive end, not too bad. So, yeah, Danielle Hunter, very dominant and very underrated and very key to our defense. I think he's our best defensive player, but not to underestimate our final player, Harrison Smith, strong safety, and he has been the most underrated safety in the NFL, and finally he's getting his recognition that he deserves. Going into the stats, he has 3 interception, has been doing good as of late, has gotten interception last 2 games against the Detroit Lions and the Chargers. Probably won't get one against the Packers because Aaron Rodgers, is afraid to take some chances sometimes, especially this season. And he has, let me see, 2 forced fumbles against the Green Bay Packers. I don't remember. I think Aaron Jones, or I don't remember. But the other one was against the Kansas City Chiefs, which I think I do remember that one. And he has a total of 61 sole tackles. Very good for a safety of his caliber. I'm talking about the solo ones, not the total ones. And he has a sack. Now, usually He has a lot more sacks, but the one sack, against Kansas City, fine. Um, but yeah, he can definitely play mind games with the quarterback. Is he gonna rush you, or is he gonna, just step back and help the cornerbacks? But this season really hasn't been much of that because he's been babysitting those cornerbacks like Xavier Rhodes. So yeah, which is why I wouldn't say he is our best defense player, which is why it's Danielle Hunter. But let's get into the snubs. We got a couple of snubs. I don't know, throw in a third snub. First snub is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has had a great season. First 4 games, not the best. Well, especially against the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I should really point out that Chicago Bear game because the Packer game was, fine until he threw the interception into the end zone, which really is costing us the division right now. But that, that's okay. But the Bear game really was a turning point, and I think he has proved himself worthy of a Pro Bowl selection, and he should have gotten over Aaron Rodgers, who has had a down year. That's just my opinion. Also, maybe even Drew Brees, but he's putting up some records now, so maybe you have to give it to him, even though he missed 5 games. And then Eric Hendricks. Eric Hendricks, yeah, he should have made it in over Keekly, and I think Bobby Wagner was the other one. I know it's just name recognition, but come on, Eric Hendricks. I think he's number one rated linebacker by Pro Football Focus. And our other safety, Anthony Harris, the one someone I didn't put on here, put their picture on here. He great safety. So it's just how it is sometimes. So tell me who you think deserve to make it to the Pro Bowl for the Vikings down in the comments below. This has been Minnesota Vikings Man 28, and as always, Skull.